recorder has gone to record mode, and the main propulsion system liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen outboard fill valves have been closed. We're coming up on an auto sequence start. T-minus 31 seconds, and we have a go for auto sequence start.
Alrighty, it is time once again for the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament, where we are doing things in a different way. For those of you watching this video later, it's going to be a little different than usual because I'm going to start streaming these live, and then people who want to interact with the real people as they're playing may do so, and then I'll transfer them to YouTube from there. So here we are. We're going to start our Innovation Micro Tournament as part of the English leg. Hopefully after this tournament we might be winnowed down enough so that we are able to get our final English leg game of Ghetto. We've been in English leg for quite a while, but if we're not, you know, we're going to let the points do what they do. If we're not, we will just, you know, play another game. That's fine. Kind of been languishing in this leg. It's kind of been fun to just get to play different games, but now I have another medium that I can do that. I don't always have to just do things for the tournament. There's something nice about playing a multiplayer solitaire game, but still have that like social element from elsewhere. That's what makes videotaping games so much fun. So try to do that if you like to play solitaire games, and you'll still get a little bit of social element. So what we're doing here is a little bit different for innovation as well, because I'm going to try to match the innovations they actually are able to use to the personality of the people. So here you can see that Pinky starts with puppet and mysticism. Now we have to look at Pinky to see if puppets or mysticism will work with her. If they do not, then she gets to return whatever card doesn't work for her as a person and draw a new card and see if that will actually fit with her like kind of way of seeing the world. Will she do that? So Pinky's a flight attendant. Her secret fantasy is to model for Vogue and keep all the clothes. So, you know, if you want to be a model, that's kind of a puppet role. I think models do have agency, but they're kind of like acting as a puppet for whatever company is having them model, right? Unusual fact, she owns 350 pairs of shoes. Pet peeve is people who spit when they talk or have things in their teeth. She'd like to meet Gorbachev or Imelda to compare shoes. Personal motto, if you can't eat it, wear it, or spend it, you don't need it. She's most proud of her shoes. Reputation in high school is popular, good kid, fun, independent, carefree. See, I don't think she's ripe for mysticism. I don't think she seems like that's really something that is going to matter to her in any way. I think she feels pretty solid with her shoes. And so we're going to return mysticism and just draw another card. Sailing. Now I think sailing would work. That kind of works with, you know, you could have special shoes for sailing, for example. Okay, so now let's look at Stubby's hand. Well, I think we'll put the hand above them. I think that'll be a good thing. So you can see their hand at all times, kind of. Stubby has agriculture and soap here. Agriculture and soap. Now let's look at Stubby. Stubby is a construction superintendent. Secret fantasy is to retire comfortably. He's half American Indian. That's his unusual fact. He does not like dumb drivers. He'd like to meet any of the original American Indians. Personal motto, persistence. Most proud of clean living. Got to keep the soap. Reputation in high school is short and aggressive. 3 words that describe him are persistent, laid back, and quiet. So I'm not seeing anything there that would make me think that those wouldn't work for him. I think agriculture is fine, and soap is definitely in there. So we're going to keep both of those, and they each have to decide one to be their starting card. Choose a color. Oh, you know what? I need to give them boards too. We're kind of on a time limit for this game since my mother's coming to visit and she likes to play this game a lot. So we have to finish this before she comes. She's not coming today, but sometimes these recording ventures take a couple days where I have to keep the game set up. Correct? Correct. See this cord here? That's the camera cord that you're seeing that's filming all this stuff. This is tough because personally I don't love either of these cards to start with. I think he'll go with the well, I think he's gonna go with the, let me see something real quick. Sorry, one thing I gotta get used to, and you gotta get used to, is that sometimes I have to change and look at different computer type things. And we're always live, so don't get to stop the camera and do that. I think he'll go with the agriculture. I guess I can leave that face up. And so normally you'd put this card face down, but we'll just put it face up, and I'm going to put this back here like that. Okay, so this is on his board now. All right, then we look at Pinky. I think she'll start with the sailing. Oh, I don't know. Puppet is also kind of attractive. But I think she'll start with the sailing. Sailing's a pretty solid card. And like before, we'll put that... No, this is her hand. It's above her picture. We'll put her picture here, her hand there. So I gotta be conscious of the camera. No, this is her board. Sorry again. Alright, well, maybe these won't... there will be nothing static about this. So, Stubby gets to go first. He has agriculture. Not a lot he can do with that right now. He could return this soap and draw and score a card of value 1 higher. But then the soap is also worth 2 points. I think he's just going to draw. So then he can meld the soap later and do something. So he's going to draw as his 1 action. He only gets, normally get 2 actions on a turn, but since he goes first, he gets to just do 1. That's the benefit of going first. You don't have to make as many decisions. All right, let's go to Pinky. I'm really worried with this setup that we're not going to have enough space. I got to figure something else out here. I'm not really happy with how this is going, but hopefully we don't get too far so that we don't have to deal with that. Pinky's going to go ahead and just draw and meld a 1, which is Sailing's Dogma effect. She gets City States. I think she's okay with that in terms of she's not going to return City States and draw and meld a different card, which is what would happen in this variant that we're playing. And she's just going to do that again. Get Masonry. Now we are playing with all the expansions, so like normally I might not want to just use Sailing. Sailing is less attractive when you use the expansions because you get certain benefits for just doing meld actions. So there's that to think about. Alright, back to Stubby. So Stubby, his oars in his hand. I demand you transfer a card with a crown from your hand to my score pile. If you do, draw a 1 and repeat this Dogma effect. She doesn't have a lot of cards in his hand, so I don't think that's that exciting. I think he's going to go ahead and just use the kind of like plow forward, get points thing. He's going to return these oars, and I didn't even ascertain whether he would like oars, but I think he would. And then he's going to draw and score 2. And then he's going to draw a 1. Code of Laws, I think he's okay with that too. Alright, going back over to Pinky now. She has Masonry. I actually don't think she's interested in Masonry. She's going to return that and draw and meld a 1. Which is what I should have done before. I kind of got to get used to this new thing. I don't think she's into metalworking. So how this is working is if they're not interested in the card, then it's just going to go away and they'll get another one. So now she has clothing, which she definitely is interested in. So she's going to keep the clothing. And now her turn is officially starting. We're just kind of going back and fixing things from the last turn. I have to go at a faster pace, so I'm going to miss things more often. Luckily, this is a simpler game. None of her dogma effects are exciting to her. And now what she can do, and I think she's going to do, because I think it's better to do things than to just draw a card. If you can do something, do that. She's going to go ahead, we're going to use one of our expansions here. She's going to meld Puppet. Now Puppet, she's melding over a color she already has, and it's of equal or less value. So she gets an Artifact of History. And that's going to go right up here. Mask of Warka. Now for all the specific things, like the cities of destiny, the figures in the sand, and the artifacts of history, I'm not using the rule for those because I don't know enough about the specific things. I can pretty much say with an innovation, which is a little more general and abstract, whether or not it would fit with the people. The Mask of Warka, I don't know what that is, and when I originally thought about doing this, I thought I would do it, classic, like videotape, cut, edit, whatever. So I would have time to, I need to change the camera real quick. It's doing the throbbing. I would have time to like look things up and learn something, which I think is probably preferable to this way, but I'm not going to stop and do that right now. Preferable because I get to learn, but not so preferable because I'm already limited on time. But, you got to find ways to kind of trick yourself to have time to learn things. So I kind of wish I wasn't doing that. We'll take off the autofocus. Hopefully that's okay. Do I need to focus it myself since the robot's not doing it? Can I switch this? Yes, I can switch it. I think we're better over here. Okay. We'll keep that. Alright, so I'm not going to have time to look up Mask of Warka, so we're just going to assume that she doesn't know what it is either. She's okay with it. Mask of Warka, sure. So now she has this. She could meld this and get perhaps another artifact of history. But let's read what it does. Mask of Warka lets you choose a color. Each player reveals all cards of that color from their hand. If you're the only player to reveal cards, return them and claim all achievements of value matching those cards, ignoring eligibility. That's pretty cool. So she has a choice right now. She could meld that kind of and then use it later, right? Or she could just use it later for free. She could draw a card, and here's where it would actually help me if I couldn't actually see Stubby's cards when it's not his turn. I've got a bad memory, so I won't remember. Well, I will now because I'm thinking about it, but she can use it for free at the start of her turn without having to use an action. So she could draw a card in hopes that she gets a color or that he gets rid of the cards in his hand so that she would have a sure thing of getting the free achievements. But he's also getting his score up, so I don't know. I think she's not going to... Well, maybe but she has Puppet, though. Why would she want to cover up her puppet? With a mask? A mask on a puppet? I don't know. Let's go ahead and draw. No, we're not going to draw. We're going to do what Joe would do and just meld because it's better not to draw if you can help it. Don't go fishing. Tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor. Choose a color, draw a 1, meld a card of the chosen color from your hand. If you do, splay that color left. That's fun. Okay, so she will need cards in her hand to do that. Let's go back over to Stubby. See what he has. He has Code of Laws and Soap. I think he's going to keep going with his kind of like stayed score achieve method. So he's going to return this and then draw and score a 2. No, not a 1. 2. I'm not going to worry about what innovations they're scoring if they don't, because that's just going to be a little too much. Just if they're going to draw it into their hand or put it onto the board. So I think he's going to actually just go ahead and tip his hand. Let her know, hey, here's... No, he doesn't want to tip his hand because she's got Mask of Warka. He wants her to not know what colors he has in his hand. So he's going to go ahead and just draw again. And then on his next turn, he can go ahead and... Tools, he's down with tools. Next turn, he can go ahead and meld soap or else return something. But I think he'll just meld soap and take the achievement, assuming things don't change. All right, let's go forward with Pinky's turn. She doesn't have any cards in her hand, so she doesn't want to use Tales of the Shipwrecked Sailor. And clothing, she can't use Mask of Warka. She can't use. She has no choice but to draw, really. She has Writing. Writing's a good one for her right now, because she can meld it, get a City of Destiny. That's really great when you can meld and then also get to draw a card. City of Destiny is another expansion. If you don't know, if you're watching this and you have any questions about what's going on, feel free and ask. Or if you want to input have any sort of input as to how the real people behave, go ahead and give some input. We can discuss this, right? And this also lets you draw a TWU. Now, Writing, I don't think she has a particular problem with writing. We're kind of going like, do they have a particular problem or are they interested in it? I don't know that she's that interested in it, but she does have a reputation from high school, which means she did some writing at some point. I don't know. This is gonna be kind of loosey-goosey variant. It's not something you could actually do in real life. You can only do it with real people because the real people don't really care if you're not fair. So she's going to meld the writing. She drew as one action. She melded as the other. She gets a City of Destiny, Athens. I think she would like Athens. Okay, back over to Stubby. Stubby's going to do what he planned to do. He's going to meld the yellow over the yellow. That gives him a Artifact of History. Holmagard Bows. I compel you transfer the highest top card with a tower from your board to my hand. And he gets to draw a TWU. That would be a good one to use. I think he'll wait and just use it for the free action. And then, since he has 6 points, he's going to take the first achievement. Now here we have our fifth expansion come in with the figures in the sand. So she gets to draw a figure in the sand because he copied her. Pinky's turn. Okay, so she might want to use her Tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor right now, because she can use it for free. Choose a color, draw a 1, meld a card of the chosen color from your hand, and then display that color left. Now, if she did that, though, because you kind of want to do it with something that you know you have. So she has this purple card here. She knows she has it. This one she wants to save and use a meld action to do it. And I don't know if she wants to cover up her Mask of Warka. Though, actually, she'd have to get into 2s in the first place. I think she's going to wait. She's going to wait with the Tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor. She's going to meld her Athens. Is that off the thing? Yeah, we're already off. There. Oh, and the writing is off, too. This is just not ideal. I guess we can move Stubby over here. Yeah, I just had him too close to start with. Give him a little more space. Like so. Okay, so she melds that. That's going to do a couple things. It's going to give her a new City of Destiny. Lindsay, the City of Destiny. And it's also going to let her draw a TWU. Currency. I think she's okay with currency. That was one action. She could just draw another TWU, or she could meld something. We have to assume each player... I'm looking at Mask of Warka again. Choose a color. Each player reveals all cards of that color from their hand. If you're the only player to reveal cards, return them and claim all achievements of value matching these cards, ignoring eligibility. So she could try this because she's the only... Not because she knows what colors Stubby has, but she's the only player with a TWU. So she wouldn't... she wouldn't give him the achievement. But on the downside, she could just be wasting her turn. Let's see if she has something more compelling to do. She might just want to get a Twoo on the table. Though, you know what? If she made use of clothing, meld a color from your hand of a different color on your board, she would score a bunch. The problem with that is that would give away her, because she would score a bunch of the ones from the box here, which would let Stubby catch up in age much faster. So I think maybe she just wants to meld the Twoo on the table and just have that there. And so that if she gets something for sharing or anything like that, she has the Twoo and she gets to draw Twoo. Okay, back over to Stubby. Gotta keep that above his head. Okay, we were thinking that he would do his Homegard bows. Yeah, that's actually really good. So he's going to do that right now. Oh, he can't compel her, though. So compel works kind of the opposite of demand in that what it does is it's if you have equal or less of the icon rather than equal or rather than having more, you get to do the thing to them. So he has 4 leaves, she has Twoo, so he can't compel her right now. Now he could use it just to draw Twoo and then get the card for copying. What are his other choices? He can meld tools. I think he'll meld tools and get a City of Destiny. See what that says. It's Atlantis. And then he'll go ahead and just... what he's going to do is he's going to meld the Homegard bows, get another City of Destiny, and it's Troy. That's going to be his turn. Back to Pinky. Pinky is going to take a drink of water, assess her life, look at her hand. Okay, she's got that Twoo down now, so I think she's going to go ahead and meld this. That lets her search. That's a tower, so she gets to keep it. And then she's going to get a Twoo City of Destiny. A Twoo City of Destiny right there. And that's a cool one, because that matches up icon-wise with this one. So she would get a Artifact of History if she melded it. She wants to start splaying though. She could use this to splay pretty well. She really wants him not to have any cards in his hand. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I think she's gonna not worry about the Mask of Warka, because that's just kind of gumming her up. If you find you're not doing a lot of stuff because you have this card and you want to use its awesome power, you probably shouldn't stop worrying about that card, because you could spend the whole game just trying to get some card's special trick going, and that can just hurt you. So she's going to meld the Tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor. That's going to give her a new one of these. And that's going to be her turn. Draw 3 cards of value equal to your top green card. Return one of the drawn cards, score one of the drawn cards. That's pretty good. She'll probably do that just to, as a freebie. Back to Stubby. Stubby, am I still on the thing? You can see my head. Okay, I gotta come back here. Gotta make sure all my cameras are going well. Alright, we'll work this out. I wish I could have this camera over there and then flip the image over. So I think that would be better, but I don't know how to do that with OBS, which is what I'm using right now. Alright. He needs to get another card in his hand that he can draw and meld a 3. I think that's what he's going to do. Oh, but she's got 3 cards in her hand. She's definitely going to copy it. He doesn't want to do that. If he can get another blue, he could achieve a card from his hand, but he doesn't have any cards that he would be eligible to achieve. I think he'll go ahead and just use this one to draw Twoo. And then he will meld it, I guess. Yeah, he'll go ahead and meld it, and she'll give him a Twoo City of Destiny. It always sounds like I'm saying a true City of Destiny, and I just have a little bit of a speech impediment when I say Twoo City of Destiny. But I'm really trying to say Twoo, like the number Twoo, not true City of Destiny. So she's going to do this. Draw 3 cards of value equal to your top green card. Return 1 of the drawn cards. Score 1 of the drawn cards. I guess you just get to keep the other one. So what happens when you like activate it for free from down here? This is like your museum or something. It gets returned. Oh, and map making. I guess he's okay with that. I'm forgetting to check these innovations, but I guess we haven't had too many. Map making. He's fine with that. Okay. So she gets to draw 3 Twoos. And one's going to be blue, an echo of the past. Now let's make sure we're okay with all of these. I think her personal motto counts as philosophy. That was one of the cards. It's philosophy, watermill, monotheism. I have to remember you probably can't see it or read it, see it enough to read it. So I think she can keep that one. Watermill. Yeah, I think she's probably okay with a watermill. I don't think she's into monotheism though. So we'll go ahead and return that and draw another one. Canal building. I think we're going a little too far. I kind of let you skate with the watermill. We're going to return again. Construction. No thanks. And math. You know, she knows how many pairs of shoes she has. 350, and I bet she knows that that's 700 shoes. So we'll let her keep the math. Okay, she has to keep one, return the other, and score 1. I think she'll score the watermill. She will, math is a pretty great card. I think she'll keep that and return the philosophy. And I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come right back just to kind of rest my mouth for a few seconds. Get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing. You don't need to know the details. It's all right.
muscles that are doing absolutely nothing.
I apologize. I went on a break a few minutes ago, and I muted it while I was on the break, and I forgot to unmute it. I'm sorry. I'm kind of new at this. So what I was asking you is, do you play Innovation? If so, you can help out these players, because as you can see, since I was not even explaining properly or audibly what they're doing, I have some problems. So if you want to, like, if you prefer either Stubby or Pinky, you could totally captain them in a way. Yeah, sorry you couldn't hear me before. That was a poor technical glitch, but it was actually a human glitch. You don't know the expansions. Okay, well maybe I can talk to you about them so you can kind of know them. Would that be interesting to you? Just tell you what's happening with like an eye towards expansions. Oh, hi. Hi, Diane. Okay. So we're playing with all of the expansions. My wife made me this box in exchange for a number of massages that has all the expansions in it, which is pretty great. So first of all, we have the brown, which you know. Then there's the blue, which is kind of very similar to the brown, but it adds like echo effects, which if you look at this little box here, see that little box down there? That's like an additional dogma effect. And so when you have like a bunch of cards splayed, you're gonna like start from the outside one that has a little box showing. If it's showing, activate that and you go all on in. Okay, so if I dogma this one, I'm gonna do this first and then do what's on here. And basically the draw rules for the echoes cards. Oh, and this here, sorry, I'll talk about this too. This is a bonus. This is worth its value in points. If it's the highest bonus on your board, and then each additional bonus is just worth 1 point. So as you see here, Stubby, he has 3 bonuses on his board. They're only worth a total of 5 points because there's 3 plus 1 plus 1. Oh, you can't see that bonus. 3 plus 1 plus 1, that's 5. And so no matter what number's on them, you only count the one of the highest bonuses. And that's about it for the echoes. They introduce forecasting. I will talk about that if that comes up. No one's done any of that yet. You draw an echoes card if you don't have any in your hand, but you have brown cards in your hand. And that's how the echoes work. And maybe I'll just talk about the other ones a little more as they come up in the game. So what was I doing now? We were doing Stubby's turn, yeah? And he was going to do Katana. Okay, so he melded it. And he says to Pinky, I demand you transfer 2 top cards with a tower from your board to my score pile. If you transferred any, draw a card of value equal to the total number of... Oh, here we're going to have a forecast of towers on those cards and transfer to my forecast. Okay, so she's got 2 top cards she owes him. No, I miscalculated. He can't do this Katana thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was just so excited that Diane was here. Alright, we're going to rewind. He didn't do that. So what's Stubby going to do instead? He could use this Cyclos Epitaph. And it just seems a little too random for him. He's going to go on a quest to get more towers so he can use a katana. I think that's what he wants to do. And in the process, he is going to try to get an artifact of history so we can talk to Diane about them. So he'll go with Troy here. Now, what's happening here, Diane, or whoever else, but I assume it's just Diane, is he is melding a card over a card that's of equal or greater value. So that means he's like going to dig through history in a way by kind of like covering up the present with the past. So he's covering up the Cyclos Epitaph, which is age 2 with an age 1 card. So then he gets a age 2 card, artifact of history, that's going to go in this museum space here. Okay, now the artifacts of history tend to be really powerful, but kind of situational. So they're kind of more like immediately, like there's one in Age 1, for example, that can just let you win the game right away. To give you an example of the power of the artifacts of history. In this case, he got the Terracotta Army, which lets him compel. Compel is a new thing, so instead of I demand, it says I compel. And basically what that means is that instead of having to have more of the icon to compel someone, you have to have equal or less. So you're kind of like tempting them rather than demanding them. So I don't know that he's that interested in it because he wants to take her cards with towers. And what it would do was... Okay, and then... I won't talk about that because we're not interested in it. So when it's here, he has a couple of different options, but we'll talk about those when they come up. So the card he melded here, this is going to look different to you as well. This is a City of Destiny. So if you notice, it has just 6 icons on it. If you use a meld action with a City of Destiny, you get like a certain special effect, and we're going to do that right now. So he melded this one with the meld action, and it's got a little search icon here. So all that means is he's going to draw a number of cards from that era, just the brown, equal to the age that it is. So this is Age 1. He's just going to draw 1. And since it has a tower, which is the icon that the search icon is next to, he gets to keep it. And that's basically what it is. The draw rules for a City of Destiny is if you splay a card in a color in a new direction, or if you meld as a meld action a new color on the board. You get, and you don't have any Cities of Destiny in your hand, you get a City of Destiny. And those are all the rules. Yeah, it has no dogma actions, so it's really powerful. The Cities of Destiny are generally pretty powerful, and they make it so that you can, like, some of them let you skip forward in age, or some of them count as an achievement, something like that. But they kind of like stuff up your board at the same time, because you, if you just rely on using cities all the time, you're not going to have any dogma actions, which can be sad. But they do all sorts of great stuff, and you can get kind of like, you can kind of chain them. So like some of them will let you splay. So if you meld a city that lets you splay, then you get another city, and then you can meld that to do other things, and you're just kind of like the pink and the purple expansions, the Cities of Destiny and the Artifacts of History. A big thing that they do is make the meld action just more exciting. It makes it so that like the card Sailing I was talking about earlier when the audio was on, but before you arrived. Oh, hi, Raven. Or Dr. Raven. Welcome. We're playing Innovation. I was just explaining to Diane the new expansions, which I think you've played with, right? So if you have anything to pipe in to help Diane understand, she has an understanding of the basic set, but I think that's about it. And I've kind of talked about other things. And what have we done so far? I got kind of sidetracked. Did he just meld? I think that's it. So Stubby just melded. He's trying to get more towers than Pinky so that he can take her towers. So let's count towers. She's got 4, 7. He's got 3, 5. So if he melds this katana, he would have more. But he doesn't want to tip off that he's going to do that. So what can he do to kind of like just kind of tread water in a way without ruining his own plan? Let's look at this Terracotta Army, because what it would be kind of fun to do is meld this Mysticism to give him even more towers. But the problem with that is that he would like to do it without having an artifact here, so he could get a new artifact of Era 3, which is what would happen if he covered up Novel, which is Era 3, with Mysticism, which is Era 1. Yeah, maybe he'll just meld this to get it out of there. Give some more crowns too. Doesn't hurt. Okay, we'll do that and we'll go on to Pinky. Let me know if you have any more questions, Diane. I know I kind of just talked about a bunch of stuff. I don't know if that's helpful. Or if you want to talk about anything else. If you want to talk about your day. If you want to talk about Dr. Raven's day. You want to talk about anyone's day, really, or anyone's yesterday, or anything. Back to Pinky. Pinky has mathematics, which everyone knows about, and she has the most light bulbs, so she's going to invoke her mathematics to return this 2 card here and draw and meld a card of value 1 higher. Pretty classic move. And she has anatomy. Demand you return a card from your score pile. If you do, return a top card of equal value from your board. Well, she's not going to be able to do that. Oh, and once again, we got a 4 instead of a 3. So one of the problems with this box, and I think it's great, I'm not trying to badmouth the box, is sometimes people put things back in the wrong slot. Okay, so instead she gets alchemy, which is unfortunate because it covers up her mathematics, but maybe she can use her alchemy. Probably doesn't want to use it now. You know what? Actually, I forgot the rule we're playing under. If they're not going to be down with the innovation they get, it just goes back and they get another one. So we're trying to tailor the innovations they get to the real people themselves. And we're just going with the innovations from the brown set, the base set, and the echoes of the past. We're not going to worry about any of the more specific expansions. So we're going to draw and meld a different 3. Compass. I think she likes the compass because she is a flight attendant. And that's important for her job. Right? Right. We agree. I like listening to your explanation of what the players are thinking during their turns. That's helping. Okay. I'll just do that, and maybe that's helpful to you. Well, you said it is, so I feel confident it's helpful to you. All right. So that was one action. She got a compass down. I demand you transfer a top non-green card with a leaf from your board to my board, and then you transfer a top card without a leaf from my board to your board. I don't know that she wants to do that. She wants to keep her mathematics, I think. I think what she's going to do is just kind of the classic mathematics move of drawing a 3. She drew optics, which you can't see. Yeah, I got to figure a different way to set up this webcam because it's difficult to see things. Okay, so now it's time for Stubby's attack. Katana! Ah! Now, the katana, this is another thing. There's a lot of little, like, so these expansions, Diane, they kind of take away a lot of the, a good, well, not a lot, but there's a lot of, like, kind of, like, little, like, if this or this, there's a lot more specific kind of complex rules. It takes a lot of the elegance away from the game. But it's all right once you get it, I guess. But sometimes I still kind of miss little things. I should tell you about the endorse action sometime. So this hex thing here that usually doesn't do anything, if it matches up with the one that it's covering, you get an artifact of history for doing that. So, great. Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant, return a card from your hand. Transfer all cards of the same color from the boards of all players with no artifacts to your score pile. If Ark of the Covenant is top card on any board, transfer it to your hand. Now, that's pretty cool. So, he could return a card from his hand and then just get cards from other people. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about Katana, which he's going to use right now. I demand you transfer 2 top cards with a tower from your board to my score pile. And that's going to be both Teotihuacan and Sparta. That's going to give him another 4 points. And then she has to draw a 4. And she puts it in his forecast. Gunpowder. I think he likes gunpowder. So what that does in the forecast... Nope, it shouldn't be gunpowder because he needs an echo of the past. Never mind. Chintz. I actually don't know what chintz is. I don't think that Stubby would like chintz, though, whatever it is. So it has to be something different. A clock. Okay. I think you can be okay with a clock. So it's in the forecast here, Diane. What that means is if he melds a card later of equal or greater value, he can just immediately meld that and dogma it right away. So it's kind of like the saved up action, and you can like chain a bunch of things doing that. But again, you have to do it with the meld action. So the Echoes of the Past kind of like dipped its toe in making meld actions important or more enticing. I'm waiting for the well, I don't think they ever will, but I think that the draw action is actually the least interesting, but I think the game kind of wants to keep that. It's like, you know, if you're just taking a draw action, you're doing something wrong, or it's not going your way. So it can go well after you draw the right card. All right, we are going to go probably another 8 minutes or so, unless I don't look at the clock. So he melded and he did Katana. We're going to go back over to Pinky here. Pinky was going on her mathematics train, but she's a little pissed because he did that to her with the Katana, and she doesn't want him to do more Katana stuff. So she's going to look at if she can cover anything up with a tower. Unfortunately, she can't. So I think she's just going to not worry about it. She's going to go ahead and keep mathing away, especially since there are no towers in Era 4. So she's going to go up to Era 4 with experimentation. I think she's okay with experimenting. And she covered up her math, but she gets to then draw and meld a 5. We'll do that. That's kind of classic maneuver. There, she covered up one of them. So if he wants to waste his turn on a Katana, all he's going to get is Lindsay, and Lindsay ain't nothing. All right, back over to Stubby. Okay, now Stubby wants to think about the Ark of the Covenant. So before his turn even starts, he can decide to either return this card for no action, or he can dogma it and return it for no action. Or he can just keep it there and then meld it as a regular action, as though it were in his hand. But he's going to look at what it says first. Return a card from your hand, transfer all cards of that color from the boards of other players with no artifacts to your score pile. Does she have any artifacts? She does not. So I think he might want to do that. Now if he had this melded, he would get to then put it into his hand, which might be compelling, because if he melds it, he would get another artifact anyway, and then he'd get it into his hand. But he also wants to just achieve. He's kind of doing an achieve train. And he's got the points for it. So if he melds it and monkeys with artifacts, or the Ark of the Covenant, he's not going to get to focus on achieving. I think he wants to focus on achieving, but he will just automatically do this. So what color does he want to take from her? I think he wants to take her... Compass is worth 2 points. Oh no, he wants to take that Society. So he's going to return this 1, which is purple. See? And take this as Societies from her board to his score pile. And then Ark of the Covenant goes away. And then he is going to take his turn, and he has a total of 8, 13, 16, 17 points. So he's going to achieve twice. See a 1 in the wrong spot here. Achieve twice. Now here's a new thing for you, Diane. When you achieve, or if someone copies you, okay, if you achieve, the other players get to draw what's called a figure in the sand. And if someone copies you, copies a dogma effect, then you get to draw a figure in the sand. Now in this case, he achieved twice, so Pinky is going to get to draw 2 figures in the sand. Fortunately, they're not going to be a 5, which is what she had gotten to. Instead, they are going to be 4s, because 4 is the highest thing on her board. She got Niccolo Machiavelli and Michelangelo. A couple of Italian guys. All right, back over to Pinky. She could just draw and meld another 5. It's not the biggest deal that he took that from her, except that he has the most points now. And that's a little unfair. It's like everyone should get to have the same number of points, right? Right. Just looking at Joe DeAgostino. We're listening to Joe DeAgostino today. I can't wear the headphones because I find it too distracting, but I like to hear it coming through the headphones, which are sitting next to me. but I can't hear anything right now, so I guess it's just a quiet part. Okay, so Niccolo Machiavelli would so what these do, Diane, is they let you have just kind of this overall rule change. So this one says each color splayed right on your board but not splayed in any direction on any other player's board counts as an achievement. That can be really nice, and you can be really sneaky about that because people oftentimes neglect to look at these things sometimes, or my mom does anyway. And then Michelangelo has this global rule. Each card in your hand is also considered part of your score pile. And then here, this is called an Inspire effect. An Inspire is an extra action in the game. So there are like a total of 2 more actions added by the expansions beyond the original 4. I believe Endorse and Inspire. I'm not even going to worry about Endorse right now. What Inspire does is you do whatever the Inspire effect is, and then you draw a card equal to the top card of that Inspire color. Okay, so you see how it's kind of like those echo effects. It could be showing in a stack and not be the top card, but if this is the top card, you're going to draw 4, no matter what, even if you have a 5 down. I think right now she is going to go ahead and just draw him out of 5, however. She got Physics. Okay, and we kind of have a classic innovation dichotomy of the scorer versus the age jumper. You can decide for yourself who's winning. That was one action. Draw 3 6s and reveal them. So this Physics would cause her to lose her hand. I don't think she's really ready to do that. So I think she's going to do Tale of the Shipwrecked Sailor. Choose a color, draw 1, meld a card of the chosen color, and display that color left. She chose purple, by the way. And she's going to meld Machiavelli. Does she have a... She has another figure in her hand. She's going to display this left. Now, since she splayed it left, she's going to get a City of Destiny, because I don't think she has one in her hand. She's going to get a 5 City of Destiny. Oh, that's nice. So that lets her jump forward to 6 without having to risk her hand. You see these 2 pluses here? Those let her draw 2 cards of value 1 higher, 1 for each of them if she uses as a meld action. But she's done. And we started with Stubby. I think this is probably a good time to stop because I'm going to have to be done soon anyway. So thank you for joining me. I hope you join me next time on the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament, where we are going to play this game. We're a bit under the gun because my mom's coming on Sunday, and mainly how we interact is we play Innovation, so I can't have the Innovation game set up. But I think we can do it. I think we're going pretty good. We're at Era 5. Things are going to start to speed up real fast. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again, and I hope you're not missing Joe D'Agostino. Yeah, I think it finished. Here, I'll play a little bit more Joe D'Agostino as I go out.